Welcome to downtown Freeport. Just look at the boarded up buildings. It's an economic ghost town, a city literally starving for investment. It's clear this place needs our help. A&T Business Consultants had their eyes on this prime real estate, an 8.8-acre waterfront property in downtown.
We had a great project for the City of Freeport.
They wanted to build a mixed-use development with restaurants and a hotel, as well as develop 2 other tracts of land along the Brazos River. A&T would spend nearly $100,000 in the next several months.
We work on this project so extensively. We hired civil engineer, architects, all kind of people to put this project together.
The Freeport Economic Development Corporation signed this development agreement with A&T to negotiate for the 3 properties along the river. But even before that, this email had arrived from Chris Duncan, the city attorney for both the EDC and the City of Freeport. He was soliciting money for his personal charity.
That's not the way to do business. I don't think that it was ethical at all.
You said we would talk anytime we wanted to, and then you never let me talk to you.
Duncan's a lawyer. He should know better.
You think it's ethical to solicit money for your personal charity from EDC vendors? You think it's ethical, Chris?
I don't think that's a proper question.
Well, I get to ask the questions.
You know what my daddy always told me?
What'd your daddy
Deal
tell
with a fact, not what you think. So, and if I see the facts, I'll certainly take a look at it, but I do not know.
And you'll see the facts.
All right. Thanks, you, sir.
Mayor.
Duncan didn't just do it once, Mayor. We have proof he did it at least twice. Look at this email hitting up a guy named Donald Sisk. Folks in Freeport may not know it, but Sisk wanted to turn Freeport into the Hollywood of Texas. The project promised to generate massive industry in Freeport, make it the cultural capital of Texas, and maybe the envy of the entire entertainment world. This email showed Sisk would donate money to Duncan's charity, but charity records don't show any donation was ever made. Duncan claims both projects fell apart because they didn't have the money.
Do you have a contract on the land? Do you have a contract on the land? You don't have that. So our hands were just tied, so we cannot get anything. Investors were ready and banks were ready.
But A&T is now suing the Freeport EDC. And that's why Duncan's solicitations are such a problem. Neither A&T or the planned Alchemy Film Studio donated to his cause. Sisk is now deceased, but his emails live on. They reflect on the city attorney with his hand out. Quoting, Chris represents himself and his own interests. This is a conflict of interest. But it's this email sent by Sisk that should alarm Freeport folks the most. Quoting, this is why your city will continue to be a sewer attracting rats like Pena and Duncan. In October 2020, Councilman Jeff Pena, who also sat on the Economic Development Board at the time, had bought the old Boys and Girls Club building right next to that prized piece of land. Fellow EDC member Marinelle Music cried foul.
When I brought it up about Jeff buying that Boys and Girls Club, my thing was, no, it's not illegal for him to do that, but is it unethical for him to have known things that the general public would not know?
The allegation was that Pena was buying one property to drive up the price of the vacant land to make it less attractive to outside developers. So who did the mayor ask to investigate Pena? City Attorney Chris Duncan.
Well, that's like the fox in the hen house, honey.
In November of 2021, the Brazos Fax reported that Duncan had cleared Pena of wrongdoing, but folks were suspicious. Video surfaced of Duncan and Pena doing shots together.
Yo. Say yo. I'm not participating.
The former EDC Secretary Nicole Morales described their relationship as, quote, too close for comfort.
They wine and dine. They're always together. They're always, partying together.
We were intrigued by properties that Duncan and Pena had bought on Broad Street, close to the coveted river properties. They're almost next door neighbors. And this is weird. State records show Pena and Duncan had created their real estate companies just one day apart from each other before the investigation results were even made public. Maybe that's just a rare coincidence, but it's why we asked to see text messages and emails between these two Freeport government officials. I guess we hit a nerve.
Why are you hiding your emails with Mr. Pena, Chris?
Duncan wanted to keep his communications with Pena a secret from taxpayers. Some, he said, were, quote, personal in nature, whatever that means.
What are you hiding exactly, Mr. Duncan? My company will not stand by and allow a city to illegally withhold documents from the public.
Pena hasn't turned his communications over either.
Through the proper channels, whatever needs to be presented in the public domain, absolutely. I have nothing to hide.
So there's no personal relationship?
I have a personal relationship with all these guys. What are you kidding me?
In regards to your first point, Jeff, like you said,
Councilman Pena, please.
Councilman Pena.
Yeah, it all seems so cozy at the council meetings. But the taxpayers of Freeport, they should wonder why so many proposed developments on the riverfront have died on the vine. No hotel, no apartments, no movie studio.
Tell me why the movie studio wasn't a good idea.
I'll let you, if you can't figure that one out, I'm not going to answer that question.
But emails showed the EDC executive director at the time called it a win-win for the city. Cortland Holman was booted out of his job at the EDC, but is bound by a separation agreement. He can't talk about anything involving the EDC or its dealings with lots of developers, all the deals that fell through. That, my friends, is an insult to folks in Freeport.
Nobody should leave the employment of a Freeport government entity and have to sign some agreement that they won't talk about any dirty stuff that happened. That's just wrong. It's not ethical.
There's a reason why there's no development down there. And now I know clearly. I know absolutely clearly why there's no development, and it's because of this kind of stuff.
This is more evidence of a city that needs an economic house cleaning. A row of townhomes. They should be filled with new homeowners, but they're instead literally falling apart. The EDC didn't allow this company, Realty World, to finish them. And they were model homes for something much bigger. Now you drive up to yet another of Freeport's economic disasters.
Over $1 million in monies that were spent and exhausted as we sit right now. And those doggone houses are sitting there deteriorating as we speak.
The townhomes are now part of a growing number of lawsuits involving Freeport's Economic Development Board. And Chris Duncan, fired from the city, is still the EDC lawyer. We've spoken to more than one developer who thinks Duncan and Pena, both real estate developers themselves, are to blame for driving away possible competitors for that lucrative land. All these lawsuits, even this story, it's all bad business for a town that desperately needs new business.
Too bad you don't have our developments breaking ground right now and making your city so beautiful because of the corrupt politicians sitting in there.
No business is going to want to come here with the mounting lawsuits. No one will want to develop in this city